if you've ever thought, why can't I stay focused lately while simultaneously running a business, a team, a family, and that thing we call life, listen closely. Time management isn't your problem, my friend. Energy is. And the new productivity skill no one is teaching high-achieving women is nervous system-led focus. Today, we're going to be talking about productivity for entrepreneurs, but not the optimize your calendar version, the version that actually works, the version that prevents burnout, the version that makes you sharp again. Welcome to the Manifest and Chill podcast. I'm Tracy Ftacek, founder of Manifest and Chill and creator of the Energy Aligned Business Strategy. I work with high-achieving women who are done sacrificing their well-being for success, want to lead, build, and scale from a nervous system that can actually hold what they're creating, and learn to chill the fuck out in the process. Let's dive in. So there's a real productivity problem that's going on in the world of high-achieving women. Let's start with the unpopular truth. Most productivity problems are not time problems. They're energy problems. Time is neutral. Energy is not. Your ability to focus changes based on stress load, decision fatigue, sleep, emotional bandwidth, and how long your nervous system has been running on high alert. So if you're telling yourself over and over again, and what I hear so much from clients when they first come to me is, I just need a better routine. I need to be more disciplined, or how about this one? I need to stop procrastinating. I want you to consider something different instead. You might not need more discipline. You might need what we in this world that I teach for entrepreneurs and high-achieving women, you might need more regulation, because focus is not a personality trait. Focus, well, it's a physiological state. So here's the definition I want you to borrow. Nervous system-led focus is the ability to direct your attention because your body feels safe enough to stay present. We've all had that conversation about we need to be spatially aware. Well, sometimes that ability puts us into a fear, flight, or fight mode that's actually preventing you from focusing and concentrating. And I call that being dysregulated. And when you're dysregulated, your attention gets pulled into urgency, continually scanning for problems, overthinking, doesn't that one sound really fucking familiar? Reactive decisions, and multitasking that looks productive, but it drains you. And then high-achieving women do what we do best. They power through. You have the ability to white-knuckle execution, become productive in a way that looks really fucking impressive on the outside, but feels completely depleted and sapped of energy on the inside. And that's why I teach energy management for women leaders as a foundation of productivity, not the bonus. Quick science moment, because I know some of you want receipts. A widely cited neuroscientist review explains that even mild, uncontrollable stress can cause a rapid loss of prefrontal cognitive abilities. And that matters because the prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain responsible for focus, judgment, and self-control. So in other words, if you are consistently stressed, your stress can make you feel scattered, reactive, and honestly bad at productivity, even when you're actually highly capable. Now, here's the hopeful part. Attention is trainable. In a randomized controlled study, a 2-week mindfulness training course improved work memory capacity and reading comprehension while reducing mind wandering. Mind wandering is the biggest hidden focus leak for high-achieving women. So when I teach nervous system-led focus, meditation for focus, intention setting for focus, it's not fluffy. It is literally a physiological and attention training system. Strategy, if you will. Tactics. But there's many questions of why traditional productivity advice backfires for high achieving women, because we've all heard about time blocking. We've all heard about scheduling your day out. Traditional productivity advice is often built on pressure. We don't need any more pressure. It requires more urgency, more output, and more optimization. But if your nervous system is already overloaded, pressure does not create focus. It creates survival mode. And survival mode, it might get you through the day, but it quietly taxes your creativity, decision quality, patience, and long-term capacity. So here's a rule. Regulation first, strategy second. I'm going to say that again. Get a pen, paper, write it down. Record this segment of the podcast to play for yourself every day. Regulation first, strategy second. So let's take meditation in a practical framework. And it's something I teach inside of the energy aligned business strategy that completely changes what self-care and actual performance support looks like. Meditation is not a vibe. It's training. It trains your ability to notice distraction, return back to the moment. It interrupts stress spirals and helps you to stop reacting like everything is urgent. And that directly impacts productivity for entrepreneurs because your business does not need more of your hustle. It needs your clarity, especially if you're a business owner who wants to scale from the 6 to 7 figure mark and eventually exit in a successful manner. Clarity is what needs to be optimized, not systems. And when you're clear, you stop doing 10 things halfway and start doing the one thing that actually will move the needle. Now let's talk about another support system, intention setting as a strategy tool. Now, intention setting, well, what most women were never taught is how to set intentions as a strategic filter. They were taught to set goals, then judge themselves when the nervous system can't keep up. Sound familiar? Here's what intention setting actually does. It tells your brain what to prioritize. Without intention, your day gets run by whoever is the loudest in the room, whatever feels the most urgent, whatever triggers your anxiety, and whatever earns you approval. With intention setting, you lead your intention instead of negotiating with it. It's why someone being the loudest in the room gets less of my attention if it doesn't align with my intention. Urgent moments, I will respond to them, but they do not control my reactions. Now, I have high levels of anxiety. They can be triggered by almost anything if you've read my original journey story of life. However, what I've learned to do is recognize it in the moment. This is just anxiety because it's not aligned with my intentions. This is something that's trying to distract me. And this is a big one, this last one, for high achieving women. Whatever earns approval. I want to visit that one for a minute. We have been trained, and we need to recognize this, to seek approval as high achieving women. It's how we developed the push until we collapse modality. Your approval means nothing to me if it will not allow me to fill the intentions that are being set. With intention, you lead your attention instead of negotiating with it. If you're struggling with focus, ask yourself, what is my intention today? And then right behind that, I would like you to follow up with, is my nervous system regulated enough to hold it? If the answer is no to that second question, it's time to put on a full stop, pump the brakes, and get yourself back into alignment. So I'm going to give you a simple protocol that you can use immediately today. Save this and come back to it. Step 1 is to regulate. Before you plan your day, regulate your body. Now, most spiritual guides, wellness and health industry will say, do 20 minutes of this, or set a timer and journal for 15. All of these are beautiful practices, but when you have a day full, chock full of appointments, and you know anxieties hit you the moment your feet hit the floor out of bed in the morning, just pick one of these. 6 slow breaths with a longer exhale than your inhale. You could also do a quick body scan. Start at your jaws, move to your shoulders and into your belly. Where is the tension sitting? Observe it. Don't judge yourself. You move through life with grit, give yourself a little grace. Another opportunity, one hand on chest, one on belly, and then just soften your posture. Odds are the shoulders are up by your ears. The back is in a motion and space of being incredibly rigid. And then another is to relax your gaze for 30 seconds. Now, if this is something that you want to utilize before a meeting, before a phone call, before a presentation, all of these are beautiful. When I was traveling as an international trainer for a global beauty brand, I would go out on stage. I would always take a couple of minutes off to the side of the stage before I walked in to regulate my nervous system. Because my goal was to provide the information to the people in the audience. And I didn't want my dysregulated nervous system, my anxiety, to affect my ability to deliver at the end of the day. So do you see how that self-awareness becomes self-care for you, but it also allows you to deliver on your purpose and promise to the community that you lead? Doing any of these 4 modalities, the slow breaths, the quick body scan, the hand on chest to soften your posture, or relaxing your gaze for 30 seconds, this is telling your system, we're safe enough to focus. And that alone will change. Now, step 2, it's time to set an intention. Ask yourself, what is the one outcome that will make today successful? What energy am I leading with today? And what am I no longer available for today? And I want to give you some examples. So, what is the one outcome that makes today successful? Today, I lead with calm clarity. How many times do we beat ourselves up at the end of the day of we've lost our shit, we spoke curtly to somebody that maybe didn't deserve it? We run these scenarios over and over again in our head. Just lead with calm clarity. When you lead with calm clarity, there's no room for you to move in a different way. Here's another example. What energy am I leading with today? Today, I prioritize revenue generating actions. So that's your energy for the day. Today, I am prioritizing revenue generating actions. You immediately know what your focus is. And so therefore, when something comes across your desk, an email shows up in your inbox, or a text message, or even a video message via Telegram or WhatsApp, if it does not fit the priority of a revenue generating action, that can wait till the end of the day, to another day. It's not an emergency. Another example question. What am I no longer available for today? An example of this, what would look like in your world. Today I protect my attention like it's money. You and I both know as CEOs, we may not be the accountant of our own business or the CFO of our own business, or you may, depending on where you are in your entrepreneurial journey or working as a high achieving woman in a corporate environment. But your attention, it's a financial decision. And when you start looking at your attention as precious, just like you would for that dollar bill, you will not spend it on frivolous things. I can promise you, adapt one of these and things will shift for you. Now, step 3 is a little bit longer. This is focus in a container. So this does lead into, I'll be honest, time blocking, but in a very different fashion. Old school time blocking, they were like, give yourself, nothing takes an hour. Meetings, 50 minutes, task, 50 minutes, set a timer, give yourself a 10-minute break and move to the next one. A focus in a container, we're only making that 25 minutes. One task, one timer, no multitasking. It's incredible what you can accomplish in 25 minutes. When you get distracted, return. That return is the training. That is meditation in motion. And I always say this, especially with new clients when they're like, I have a hard time focusing or emptying my mind during meditation. Yes, there is an eventual goal. Tibetan monks do it all the time. Meditation gurus can completely empty their thoughts. In the beginning, and sometimes on your busiest days, the goal of a meditation isn't to empty your mind. The goal of the meditation is to control your thoughts, to take in, acknowledge when you are noticing your thoughts running away from you, and then returning back to meditation. It's the same thing with a 25-minute focused container task. Step 4, reset. 2-minute reset. It's really all you need. 120 seconds. We all have that, no matter how busy we are. Stand up, move around, drink some water, and breathe. You, my friend, are not a machine. You are an energy system. Run that cycle 2 or 4 times, and you'll feel the difference in your output and your nervous system. When you start feeling anxiety coming, it's generally because you spent too much time running the negative side of a task through your mind. You're preparing yourself for stress. Reverse that. Give yourself this 2-minute reset. Then go back in and approach the task. And then what this is going to change for women leaders, entrepreneurs, CEOs. There is a reason why I am so direct about energy management for women leaders. There is a reason why I'm so focused on utilizing this in my newest container, energy aligned business strategy. And you can check it out in the show notes if you're interested. When your nervous system stops running your day like a threat, you can, and you get to, make better decisions, cleaner execution, less second guessing, less procrastination, more follow through. And this is the big one, sustainable success. When you stop building your business on emergency mode. If this episode hit, here's your next step. If you want to identify what's actually driving your focus issues, take my diagnostic quiz. It's in the show notes. It's completely free, and it will name your pattern and point you to the next shift. When you're completed, it's going to ask you, do you feel ready, rebuild, or reset? It's going to tell you and guide you, and then it'll take you to a free page on my website of some steps and approach and best practices that you can immediately integrate into your strategy. And if you are ready to build nervous system-led focus, meditation for focus, intention-led leadership into how you run your business, scale your business, and my specialty, build a business that you could eventually exit successfully, just comment in the DM me or click on the Energy Aligned Business Strategy, which is in my show notes. It's my container. It begins in March. And if you know a woman who looks successful on the outside and feels quietly exhausted on the inside, because we've all had those conversations over cocktails, text messages, or when we've sent 20 million reels to one another, please send her this episode. We will talk soon, my friend. I love you all so much.